I feel this pit had the potential, and this is one pit they could have fought for. Unfortunately, for some reason or other, the powers that be decided to relinquish the fight.
The Windham Western, the last pit in the Ogmore Valley, closed 2 months before the strike because the union failed to fight, according to the local community. But the real treachery, they say, was the coal boards. It now stands as a stark symbol, a warning to coal communities across Britain.
We had documents issued to us back in 1979, which stated that there were 12 million tonnes of coal in the present take, and down at the lower end there was 70 years of work in excess of the 12 million tonnes that is up here. So I feel the potential was here to make a stand on this particular pit, and I'm sorry that we are not involved in the present struggle.
John's father, like the wider community, shares that sense of betrayal. The coal board couldn't be trusted. This was a community created for coal. It's now a community in retreat, bitter and bruised by the loss of its last pit.
The valley was full of life. And you know, you could hear the noise of the pits. When I started work, 1921, the steam was blowing up just like a big animal in the middle of the valley with its nostrils blowing. And men being woken up in the morning with the hooters blowing to wake them up to go down to this animal's throat, down to his bowels of the earth, to his bowels, to scrape coal. And what have we had out of it after all that sacrifice, blood, sweat, toil and tears? What have we had out of it? Here it is today, a scrapyard.
The first and the worst price is jobs. Nantymoil had 3 pits and 2,500 pit jobs. Now there's none. Work now is as scarce as an NCB wage packet. The coal board is still the major employer. 80 jobs at the local washery. There are others, 44 in a factory making badges. And there is this industrial estate, built on a pit which once employed 500 miners.
We're talking about a figure of 2,500 jobs lost for the sake of 30 jobs on that industrial site you mentioned. Money have got to be poured in by the national government to create bigger industrial sites to allow people to live in their homes, in their surrounds that they're used to.
But it's not just about jobs. Collieries create their own centres of culture, like the local Silver Band, formed and sustained by miners' contributions. Close a pit and you start to dismantle these community structures. Several of them are now under threat. The band is desperately short of money for instruments. The boys' clubs, pensioners' groups and many others, all kept alive by miners' money, which has now gone. That commitment has now turned full circle. Despite their own financial position, it's these organisations which have sustained the miners' families in this strike. By fundraising bingo, for instance, in a club built by miners, and by other events at the Berwyn Centre, again built by miners' money. A community pulling together, but also being pulled apart, according to local councillor and miners' widow Muriel Williams.
We're trying to get over to people in the country that we are good, kind, sharing communities. We are not militant people, we are loyal people to the country and have given our all to this country. And when we are called the enemy within, it's the greatest insult any person can give to us.
A minister did say for the people to get on their bikes and look for work, but where are they going to go? There's no place for them to go with the unemployment figures as they are. The youngsters of Nantymoil can't go anywhere other than stay in Nantymoil.
Well, I move out of the valley. I'm not staying in here. There's no, it's just no jobs coming up, you know. I'll have to move to Bridgend at the least, but I won't move out of Suffolk. The population's going to just decrease now. There's not going to be many people living up here at the end of the century.
I have grandchildren here too. I have sons here and I have grandchildren. And we feel that industry has to be put in here. And if the coal board think after this strike, they are walking away from this valley, they got another thing coming, and I will say to them, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Over and over again, I was told, other coal communities must learn the lesson of the closure of Windham Western.
It had been stripped as if the locusts had been there, and it was still under appeal.
Stripped before the appeal had made the final decision?
Before the appeal said the final decision.
You fight every battle facing the enemy, whether you're in retreat or otherwise. And I would appeal to all miners, whatever your community, whatever communities you're in, your pit is the mother of your community. Stand up and fight for it. Don't be gulled by false promises of greener pastures and other pits, because I could bring you 600 men now who have gone to other pits and are totally and thoroughly disappointed with what has happened to them generally.
We're not bloody minded. We are fighting for communities and the future.
They used to complain very often, oh, the row that is coming from the pits. But you know, the silence hurts us more today than the sounds of the past. And that is what is hurting me, you know, that there's no future for the youth.
Well, you see it right in front of your very eyes, the dereliction. This is the manifestation of a pit closure. And what you see in front of your eyes here is bad enough. But the destruction of the community is the most important. The pit, our pit was the mother of our community. Our mother is now dead. What happened?